Jim, a few weeks ago, we asked all our Facebook followers for topics for morning conversations, and we got quite a few. And one that kept coming up is people want to know the difference between emotions and feelings.
Yeah. So there is a difference between emotions and feelings. And emotions are created by the rational mind. So over a long period of time, the rational mind trying to figure out itself, figure out the world it's engaged in. The rational mind invented emotions, and it was its way of being in a circumstance and having a reference point, according to the archangelics. Feelings are from the heart. And so one of the things about emotions, anger, resentment, jealousy, those type of words, there's edges on those words. They have edginess to them. Whereas appreciation, gratitude, enjoyment, laughter don't really have edges to those vibrations. So
when someone's saying, I'm feeling irritated, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling rage, I'm feeling, that's a misnomer. They're not really feeling.
Yeah,
this is what I don't understand. I'm feeling angry. This is a feeling.
Yeah,
I feel angry.
Yeah. So it's one of these things where you have start from zero and you have 1 and -1 and 2 and -2, and you get further and further out on the edges from a neutral balance point. And so the word is feeling. I'm feeling this, because that's what we say all the time. But in terms of where I'm pointing to, an emotion is a vibrational expression that has an erraticness to it, has an edge to it. Whereas a feeling is a vibrational expression that is smoother and calmer. And so, yes, people say feelings because I don't have another word to express it. But if I'm feeling angry, resentful, jealous, well, how does that feel? And I'm feeling happy, enthusiastic, and gracious or grateful. How does that feel? So there's two distinct sets of expressions of vibration in a feeling and an emotion. One of the reasons that we're distinguishing between those two is if you start to recognize I'm in an emotion, that emotion is how the rational mind basically says I'm in an expression, I'm in an experience, and this is my experience. Whereas the gratitude or appreciation just simply is a spontaneous expression that isn't thought, it's just really laughter all of a sudden is spontaneous.
So distinguishing between these two experiences will help us move from the edgy emotion into the more heartfelt feeling. So example, I'm having this experience of feeling angry. Oh, anger is an emotion created by the rational mind. I know that. So now there's a little bit of distance between me and the anger, and that little distance might be what I need to switch to a different platform called happy.
Well, let's talk about platforms. See, so in Mastering Alchemy, one of the reasons that we set up platforms was to find a place to define yourself. So, meaning a set of words. If I say certain, the rational mind goes, oh, I've been certain, I know what certain is. But if you feel certain, if you close your eyes and have a sense of being certain, there's an alignment to that feeling. There's a strength, a presence. It's not edgy. So the purpose of Mastering Alchemy and designing and talking about the platforms and having people recognize words and the vibrational expression of the word, jealousy and enthusiasm have really different vibrational expressions. And so if a person can basically recognize I'm off balance, we'll call it here an emotion in terms of I'm not feeling good, it's not, or However, off balance could be I'm sad. And see, sad is one of those words that's kind of on the +1, -1 on the scale I'm talking about of balance. Sadness is an expression of I feel for this person's loss, or I am in a place where, oh, I'm disappointed that such and such happened. I'm not angry about it, or I'm not over the top about it. So sadness is one of those words that's really is both, can be expressed as an emotion and can be expressed as a feeling. So now we're kind of getting into the place of cutting hairs. So, but the platform, if you have a sense of vibrations of words, certain, capable, gracious, we kind of 7 words we set up in the process, you all of a sudden have a choice when I'm in an emotion, I'm off balance, I'm resentful, I'm angry about something. Do you like being that emotion? Well, in the normal walking around place, if you ask the person, do you like being angry, they're going to look at you like, what's wrong with you? But in this case, Mastering Alchemy, you say, how's that working for you? Not being funny, but you have a choice. And so this word choice becomes a very big opportunity in terms of getting out of that third dimensional space, that the rational mind and the circumstances of your environment kind of push you into emotions.
Yeah, I guess when I look at the word anger, angry, sometimes having that experience feels powerful.
Oh, absolutely. It's very powerful.
And I like that or a person likes that feeling of power. And so do I want to get rid of that anger and change it? So I'm making 2 points. So here's the first question. I like that feeling of power. I feel big and powerful when I'm angry.
Okay. So then you express your power through anger and abuse and pushing against and all of the things that come with anger in an expression towards other people. But if you had a sense of power, I have this sense of power, which is what you're looking for, and I can express it in a manner of nurturing, uplifting, assisting others. The feeling of influence and moving something with power is very different with power from the heart versus power from an emotion. And so the triangle, again, this platform of words, is really about, it's not about any particular word. So you can be powerful and gracious. You can be powerful and firm. You can exert yourself with power, and yet you can be very forceful in a manner that still allows you to be kind and gracious. So the purpose of the platform of various words is there's no 1, 2, 3, 7 words. It's all the words. How do you wish to combine the vibration of words as expressions of feelings or expressions of emotions? And so, again, when you start to play with the platform of words, you begin to have a sense of really your own power using that word. I can choose, being the operative word, to express myself this way. I could scream at that person for doing that, or I could simply say, that doesn't really work quite as well. I think we could try it another way. That's very different in terms of using, again, power, maneuvering and moving people into a place, because they don't want to be angry and upset. People don't really generally like emotions in my definition of feeling versus. Does that make sense?
Yeah, another thing is that for a lot of us, when we're in that emotion, anger, jealousy, whatever, when we're in it, we're really in it.
Yeah.
And to even think about an alternative to anger, it's not available.
Sure, but that's also the third dimensional expression. That's how we've grown up. That's how my parents were. That's how their parents were. That's how all the people around my neighborhood were. And so therefore, that must be what life is. And so we assume these different roles. The purpose of, again, all the Mastering Alchemy work is choice. And understanding choice, not from, oh, you have a choice, do something different. That doesn't make a lot of sense to somebody who's angry. But basically, practice when it doesn't count.
Right.
Begin to put on a word, walk around and try out gracious, try out certain, try out capable. Just be capable. The other person doesn't need to know what you're doing, but it's really anchoring a lot of these feelings, the vibration of a word as a feeling, capable, certain, gracious. Those are all heart words. And if you don't try them on, which most of us don't try them on, if you don't have a familiarity with them, if you don't have a sense of, again, the triangles take 3 words and put them together, the strongest geometry in physicalness is that equilateral triangle. You don't break that. It doesn't fall apart.
See, I think the key is practice when it doesn't count, so that when you're in that state of emotion, anger, whatever, it is available. You can find it.
You have a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So without making it pure, emotions are rational mind, feelings are heart. Because when you get down to words like sadness, then you can argue, well, is that or isn't it? But basically, at that level of sadness, I'm sad because I didn't get my job higher, or I'm sad because that didn't work out in a certain way that I had hoped it would, or for that person who's disappointed. You can kind of see the tilting of a word like sadness in terms of a feeling and a emotion.
So keep the definitions of emotions and feelings general.
Well, yes and no. You take it out further. It's like anger, jealousy. I'm going to punish that person as an aggression. That's an emotion, and it's got edges to it. So what I would prefer is just simply ask yourself: is there an edge to this?
Yeah.
Or is this a smooth flow? And look for the smooth flow, because that's the heart space. That's you. And we can talk about this in another session. Is this word lonely? When you talk to people, gee, the preponderance of people are lonely. That's different than being alone.
Yeah.
But lonely is something that is, to a great extent, a disappointment. I don't have friends. I don't know how. I'm not connected. And a lot of that goes back to words. I don't have a sense of this well-being, fifth dimensional, or this sense of happiness at some level. So how does that work with words also? So we can talk about that.
Yeah, let's do that.
But these platforms, for those of you who are in Mastering Alchemy, go back and play with these platforms, because often I get asked, what are the most important tools of Mastering Alchemy? And even though you've got people that are playing in this light body space and having really different kinds of experiences, really comes back to the rose and the platform of words. If you can master those 2 things, everything else falls in place.
Yeah.
So that's
Good.
all I know.